So, who are the top 10 Heisman Trophy autographs that you have to have in your collection? That's today's topic on episode 7 of the Power Sports Memorabilia Show. All right, thank you again for joining me. I am Matt Powers, your host of the Power Sports Memorabilia Show. Thank you again for joining us. Please hit that subscribe button wherever you are watching or listening. And please also visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. So, interesting list today. I was actually thinking about this yesterday. If you were starting, a Heisman autograph collection, which a lot of people do, what would be the top 10 that you would absolutely have to have in your collection? And I gotta say, there's probably going to be maybe one, maybe two surprises on this one. So just make sure that you are listening for the whole list here. So a couple were kind of hard to put on there, I'll be honest. One was, had some kind of quote unquote outside issues, and I think you kind of all know who we're talking about. And and there's another one that had a really great player, but just not super popular. So I didn't really know where to put him. So he's somewhere on that list. But anyway, before I get started on this list, I want to make sure that I touch on what are the qualifications of it, okay? Number one, you got to be good in both leagues, okay? You can't just be good in college and hoping that's going to make the list, okay? So you got to be good in both leagues. Number two, you got to have some good accolades, okay? You got to put up some big numbers in college and also, some big numbers in the pros, okay? Winning just the Heisman just isn't all that what it's made up to be, I guess, for this particular list, okay? And number three, popularity. You got to be popular. You got to be an autograph that people actually want. So those are the kind of the top three qualifications. Another one I was always thinking of is the autograph actually has to be available, something that is easily to get and somewhat affordable. So those would be the four kind of areas for this list, okay? So without further ado, number 10, Earl Campbell, running back from Texas, 1977 Heisman Trophy winner. And he's in the College and Pro Football Hall of Fame. Some of you guys might not know that. He was actually in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So 5-time Pro Bowler, obviously a running back, played at a big-time program there in Texas. And, very affordable autograph right now. It definitely, had a pretty good pro career. And I think anytime you win the Heisman Trophy at Texas, that's always kind of cements you in history there. And obviously being in both Hall of Fames, that's a big, big plus. So number 9, Tony Dorsett from Pitt. Tony's on this list. Obviously, he's in the Pro and College Football Hall of Fame. He's also a Super Bowl champion with the Dallas Cowboys, of course. So anytime you're with the Dallas Cowboys, you kind of tend to be put on these popularity lists. Again, another great running back. Not a whole bunch of great stats in the NFL. I mean, he did fairly well, don't get me wrong here. But that's why he's at number 9 here. And the only reason he's ahead of Campbell is because he's a Super Bowl champion. Number 8, and this one was a tough one to put on this list. I wasn't quite sure for a long time where to put him on here. I moved him around a bunch. But number 8 is Bo Jackson, okay? And let me tell you why Bo's on this list. Okay, obviously he's a Heisman Trophy winner from 1985 out of Auburn. Bo is on this list probably strictly for one of the criteria I mentioned up at the beginning is popularity. I'd say out of this entire list today, Bo is probably top 3, top 4 of popularity, popular autographs on this list. Obviously, he didn't have the great NFL career that everybody was kind of hoping for. Obviously, he's a great athlete, played for the Kansas City Royals, and did pretty well for the Raiders too. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame. I think just with him, I think the allure of kind of what could have been is why he's on this list. And Bo's just popular, man. I mean, every autograph signing he does is just super popular, and fans always want to meet him, and he's always signing. So that tells me that there's a huge demand for his autograph. And there's so many different stuff you can get signed by Bo. The baseball stuff and the football stuff, and it's just an all-around great autograph that you gotta have in your Heisman collection. Okay, number 7, Mr. Tim Brown out of Notre Dame. Tim Brown, 1987 Heisman Trophy winner, College and Pro Football Hall of Fame. 9-time Pro Bowler. I mean, there's no arguing that Tim Brown is one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. Just a fantastic player, fantastic off the field too. I know he didn't win a Super Bowl title, but he definitely had his shots there. But man, he's just consistency is what I think of when I think of Tim Brown. And as far as from a collection standpoint, playing at Notre Dame, obviously there's a ton of collectors that are big into Notre Dame, and obviously a huge fan base there with the Oakland Raiders, or soon to be Las Vegas Raiders. Gosh, so many different places they played. Pretty soon they'll be playing in Macau, China. Geez. So, yeah, Tim Brown, man, definitely got to have him, and he's super affordable. Definitely got to get him on your collection. Number 6, Roger Staubach. Roger Staubach, only one to play for Navy on this list. Really only one to ever play for the Armed Forces that it's on this list. And 2-time Super Bowl champion with Dallas Cowboys. Pro and College Football Hall of Fame. I think anytime you're a star with the Dallas Cowboys and you win, and you have some stats to back it up, and you're on that list and you're high up on that list. So Staubach's definitely was a tough one to put on here in this position here, but I think it was well warranted. I thought it through, and I thought, he did so well at the pro level and so well at the college level too, that those 2 Super Bowl titles were just kind of hard to overlook there. Oh, number 5, Mr. Paul Hornung, Mr. Notre Dame. He was a tough one. Again, I keep saying that. Everybody's a tough one, This list was tough to make. I thought it would be a lot easier than it was. He's way up on this list for really a couple reasons. One is, 5 titles in the NFL. Okay, so we went 4 before the Super Bowl, and then he won Super Bowl 1, of course, beating the Kansas City Chiefs. And he's in the College and Pro Football Hall of Fame, former NFL MVP, super affordable autograph. Dirt cheap on him. He is just not that expensive at all. The issue with him is popularity. I think he's kind of lost in translation on the new collectors. I don't think a lot of new collectors are really interested in his autograph. But I think that's particularly why he's at number 5 and not higher. I think it's a good place for him just because of that lack of popularity with him. But again, super affordable autograph. Anytime you play for the Notre Dame or the Packers, you're definitely going to have a huge following. Excuse me. So number 5 there for Paul Hornung. Number 4, Marcus Allen, USC. 1981 Heisman Trophy winner, and of course, superstar for the Oakland Raiders. Running back, Super Bowl champion and MVP. He's in the Pro and the College Hall of Fame. And he's also was the league MVP, so just a ton of stats. I don't think anybody's denying that Marcus Allen was one of the greatest running backs of all time. Definitely one of the greatest college running backs, too, at USC. Again, playing for USC and the Oakland/Los Angeles/Las Vegas Raiders. I know he didn't play for Las Vegas, but, the Raiders just got a huge following too. So he is number 4. Now, let's make the transition to number 3. This was the toughest one to put on this list. I really wrestled. I actually debated whether keeping him off of this list, but, part of my criteria wasn't really off the field issues. So O.J. Simpson is number 3 on this list, and O.J. has some stats, man. Freaking stats. If you're just talking college football player, like O.J. is the man. The juice is just the man. 1968 Heisman Trophy, 1967 National Champion, he Pro and College Hall of Fame, 5-time Pro Bowler, League MVP, play for USC, of course, huge following there. And, I didn't really factor in the off-the-field issues, but I think the off-the-field issues either really help OJ in your collection or they really hurt you in his collection. And what I mean by that is you're either really turned on, I say turned on, but you're really excited about the off-the-field stuff. Like you think it's kind of cool to have him in your collection, or you're really pushed away from it and you don't want any part of it, And he's kind of an all-or-nothing kind of guy. You either have him in your collection and you're it's kind of the first one that you show people who come over to your house, or he's not in your collection and you really don't care about him. So that's kind of the tale of the tale, either your heads or your tails with him. So let's move on to number 2. And number 1 and number 2 I flip-flopped around on actually one time. And I'll tell you why here in a little second, why number 1 is number 1. But number 2 is Barry Sanders, Oklahoma State, 1988 Heisman Trophy winner. Of course, legendary, absolute legendary running back with the Detroit Lions. Obviously, Lions suck. They sucked when he's there. that was the big downfall for his career. But, Barry's, again, college and Pro Football Hall of Fame seems to be a theme on this. 10-time Pro Bowler and league MVP. And Barry just had stats upon stats upon stats upon stats. You think OJ put up some good stats. Man, Barry is just a stat maker. The Lion King just absolutely crushed it in the NFL. He didn't win, which kind of what keeps him a little bit from being number one. But Barry is just, when you say Barry Sanders to any collector, really, whether you're a new collector, old collector, everybody knows who Barry Sanders is. Everybody wants Barry Sanders in their collection. And he is just, he's just one of those guys you just got to have. Just absolutely have to have Barry Sanders. And you know what? I think people kind of forget about how bad the Lions were because they don't blame Barry at all, and Barry stuck it out for as long as he could. They just didn't have the talent around him, but, Barry's just a hell of a player. And, okay, number one on this list is one of my favorite players of all time, hence he's number one, Mr. Charles Woodson. Now, why is Charles Woodson number one on this list? Well, I think it's kind of cool and sexy that he is the only defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. Okay, I think that is absolutely so cool, and I think it's actually one of the more overlooked kind of stories and stats. I say overlooked. I don't think it gets as much press as maybe it should. It's so hard to win the Heisman Trophy as a defensive player because you can't force the action. Like, you just gotta have the action just come to you, and you've got to be that playmaker every single day, and you just can't take any games off. And I think he's really high up on this list too because he won a national title at Michigan. 97 Heisman Trophy and national champion. Obviously, he's in the college. He's going to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Excuse me. He's a Super Bowl champion with the Green Bay Packers and also a 9-time Pro Bowl champions, or 9-time Pro Bowler. So, you got to win a championship at the college level, win a championship at the pro level. You're obviously going to be a future Hall of Famer, and you've got that only defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy winner. I think that's just kind of cool. And I think Charles Woodson, as far as popularity goes, because he played at Michigan and because he was just kind of not a razzle-dazzle kind of guy, but he just made plays. I think a lot of people really want his autograph in their collection. And I think just the fact that he played for Michigan and the Raiders, they have 2 huge followings, and people just absolutely love those programs. So that's why Charles Woodson is number one on this top 10 Heisman list. So hopefully you guys like the list. If you guys think of anything that is crazy or if I'm stupid for putting something on there, hey, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinion on who you think is number one or who is maybe left off the list. And as always, please hit that subscribe button wherever you are watching, listening. And if you can visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. I actually have autographs, I'm pretty sure, on all these guys, and pretty affordable stuff too. So thanks again for watching and listening, guys. I always greatly appreciate it. And take care, and we'll see you next week on episode 8.